Hey Mark, this is Joel. It's sure good to see you again tonight. That's where you started tonight. You see how those, I think you said your shoulders look kind of tight and your hands are just about on your legs there in your setup. So that's the different setup over there on our right. When you get your hands away from your legs, you have less knee flex. So you have more room to swing your arms through there, Mark. And it'll be easier to, much easier to get that club face back on the ball. So there you see the difference in the setups. Much better on the right. The new blue is on the right, the old gold is on the left. Much better there, man. Much taller instead of being so scrunched and crowded like we're seeing on the left on the old gold. That's definitely the good look there, Mark. And again, this was that first wedge. You see how different that looks with your hands right there on your legs. This is that first wedge from the face-on angle. And again, there's some other things going wrong there, quote-unquote wrong, Mark. But I wouldn't want you to worry about that quite yet. I just want you to get used to this setup. And this is where I kept the recording going between shots to try and catch you. See, now that looks normal. To try and catch you doing that, where you're addressing that thing right there on the hosel. And here again. See if you do it on this one. Yep. See what I mean, man? That thing's right on the hosel. And there you got back to normal by the time you went to hit. Here's another one. This is the 7-iron, yeah. And look at that, buddy. Right there, right on the hosel. So this will be really good for you, Mark, for sure, to get out of that habit, to really just train your eyes to see that thing on the sweet spot as you start, instead of seeing it over there. Yeah. Isn't that funny? But I'm glad you got out of that habit there tonight, buddy. Just be patient with yourself. Watch it there, right there. And it's kind of normal, and then you hit it. And relative to the full swing, remember we saw that you just kind of have a whole lot of extraneous movement going on there, Mark, where you're just kind of taking that club back awful far and getting it across the line at the top. Whereas, like I showed, tour players as a rule will not have that club head so far across the line. See Vijay Singh how it really stays very close to the plane line up there at the top for him. There's another one, you'll see how it stays much closer to the plane line up the top there. It doesn't get way across the line, so they have to take that circuitous, scenic route with the club head back onto the plane line, like we're seeing for you. And then again here, remember your hands are really high, very much above that plane line at that point, whereas quite often for the tour players, at about that point you see those hands about on that line. And the good news is you're back on that plane line, but it's at the very last second, and that's why it can really tend to be inconsistent for you compared to what we're seeing over here on the right. Mark. This is how your swing looks from that face-on view. So thanks again, Mark. Sure enjoyed hanging with you, but this is the main thing to remember right there. That's setup as opposed to that one. Much better looking on the left there. The new blue versus the old gold, Mark.
This is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 to 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlinks. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment. And then we have the face-on camera angle also. And then what we also have here is 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment. And we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shots, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the step meter, 10.5 on the step meter, and 12.5 on the step meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn the certain fields in your golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. And then if we get tired of being indoors and we want to go outdoors and get some, we can do that. It's my daughter. Ellie, good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see, but it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied that things are looking better on the video here, we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is for the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.